Let's go live in the garage to hit some new PRs. First day double dosing the old Turk Max. It doesn't look like this anymore if you get it from harder than the last time. Well, I mean, that's the only place you can get it because the other places don't have the real stuff apparently. But we are moving up the weight today. Gonna see if I can hit 215 for 10 is the goal. I mean, if I can do more than that, that'd be pretty sweet, but that's the minimum we're going for. Looks like everything's working well. Hopefully we don't have any glitches like yesterday. Got my push day lined up right here. It's also in the description what I got last time. So let's get this started. I always start with the warm-ups because we don't want to get injured. I'm an old man now, in my mid-30s. I'm about to be 37. Is that considered late 30s? Or is that still mid? Like my physique. Woke up this morning with a pretty dry throat, like drainage, really uncomfortable and annoying. But I don't think it's sickness, because that's all it was. And it's been getting better as I've been up, so hoping if I had anything, it's pretty much already passed. And this is just the residual from it. And hey, if I was sick, and I hit a PR today, that's even cooler. If you're joining in, you got any questions about diet, training, supplements is what I use here. I'm only going to tell you about the stuff that I actually use. Fitness gear, garage gym stuff, what's worth your money, what's not. Let me know down in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer that and let you know. Excuse me. And I'll be, you got questions, you post them in the chat and I'll talk about that stuff between sets. Try to help you out as much as I can there. Go ahead and jump right into my next set. 135 for 10. So here we go. I always try to make my warm-up sets look just like my working sets. I see guys sometimes go on there and just because it's lightweight, start bouncing through, but we're trying to warm up. You don't want to get injured. Try to do all my reps the same. Full range of motion. Felt pretty good. No shoulder problems. That week off, hopefully, will be paying off here pretty soon. The old deload. Excuse me. Got safety rails on. I suggest using that if you have the option, because you do not want to crush yourself with weight. And you can really push yourself to failure because you can just let the bar down. Onto here, roll it off, take the weight off, stick it back on there. And you won't get hurt because no one wants to be getting hurt while they're bench pressing. So what, this is 2 days, second day on 2 Turkesterones. I don't think I've noticed anything really. I didn't have any problems sleeping last night. I did notice my leg was looking pretty, even through my calf, pretty vascular earlier. I was walking our son around downtown, up some hills and stuff. It was about 80 degrees. He was sleeping in the stroller while my girls were in gymnastics. So it was kind of hot from that. That's probably part of it, but my veins were popping in my legs afterwards. Let me think. Vascularity? Yeah, I don't really feel any different though, so. That's a good sign so far. It's only my second day taking 2. I took it about 2 hours ago, so. Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. Next warm-up set, we got 195 for 5. Whoa. And try not to fall over. Almost there. Got one more warm-up. Wow. Wow. Don't you just love it when people got those big straight pipes on the big trucks? So everyone in the neighborhood knows they're driving by. Makes them look real cool. Real cool. I remember in high school, I wanted the Fast and Furious looking car with the big muffler, all loud, until I got one. We had to replace that thing and put a stock muffler back on because it would actually give you a headache after driving long enough. Because the thing was so loud on the inside of the car. I would much rather have a nice, quiet, relaxing car now versus that. So on my last warm-up set, if you're new to this, I actually go above my working weight and do 2 reps. Just feel some heavy weight and then drop back down. Then my working weight doesn't seem that heavy. Because I'm going to be doing 215, hopefully for 10 at least. And if I was to go from 195 to 210, that 210 or 215 is going to feel pretty heavy. So I'm doing 240, which is about 10% above my working weight, for 2 reps. It's a weight I could probably do 5 reps with, so it's not so much that I'm going to get injured. Just control it and then drop it down, 25 pounds, and that 215 is going to feel way lighter versus going straight from 195 to 215 and it feeling pretty heavy. And just that neurological difference, it makes a little difference, so we'll see how it goes. So far, everything's feeling pretty good. Let's hope it stays that way. Tell you what though, this is kind of annoying with the dry throat, especially when I was walking around. There's a lot of hills in downtown Montgomery, Alabama, and my throat was getting really dry. This looks kind of blue to me. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Let's go a little on the yellow side. See if that helps out at all. All right, we got 205, 15, 25, 35, yeah, 240. We're gonna get a quick 2 reps here, and then we'll be going into our working weight and see if we hit those PRs. I'm talking about 10 rep PRs, not 1 rep PRs. Lock in. Come on. Yep, felt pretty good. So I think the most I've ever benched in here, just touch and go reps like that, was 275. Then in competition, in powerlifting, I've done 265 or pause rep. So, yeah. Those are my actual 1 rep PRs. But what we're going for now are 10 rep PRs. Much less dangerous and much more hypertrophic. Would you say hypertrophic? It's kind of funny. Like you hear the Brits, like Matt does fitness and all them, they say hypertrophy. I think, what's his name? The other one, Mike Thurston, he says hypertrophy. But it's hypertrophy. I don't know what those English people are thinking. Maybe they'll say that they invented English, so they have it right, but they say some weird stuff over there. All right, so we got, for the warm-ups, the bar for 15, 135 for 10, 195 for 5, 240 for 2. Now we're dropping down to 215, shooting for 10 reps. And if I get this, it's gonna be sweet. I remember back when I was trying to bench 245, my dad told me, he would always worked out when I was younger. He said, if you can bench 245 the month you get married, so I got engaged December of 07, we got married December of 09. When I got engaged, he said, if you can bench 245, I don't know why he picked that number, and I'll pay for the place you're staying for your honeymoon, which was down in the beach in Alabama. And I was like, okay, because we were poor, that'll work out. And there was a gym where I went to college, so I just started going there like 3 times a week. Pretty much just bench pressing. I never really did anything leg stuff, maybe some pull-ups, some back stuff. I didn't know what I was doing, just bench pressing constantly. And I did it. I got up to 245 that month we got married. And I remember getting up to 215 for 3 at one point. And I thought that was pretty cool. So now I'm doing 215 going for 10. So just thinking about in the past what you've been able to do and how much you've improved is a good motivator. See how much this helps. I got hardcore stem is what I'm using right now. The Turk Max is what we're testing out. And then of course every day, scoop of creatine. You don't have to take this when you work out. These two are more so in reference to when you're lifting. Creatine's just an everyday thing to saturate. And protein powders. If I'm not hitting my protein goals with food throughout the day, I'll have some of that. So, lightweight, baby. Come on. It's gonna be light. Gotta tell myself that. This is light. No big deal. Pumping out 10 reps like it's nothing. Maybe 11, who knows? It's only 5 pounds more than we were doing the last session. But this is it, if you're just joining in, this is the PR we're going for. 215, see if I can get 10. If you're tuning in, let me know where you're watching from. Or if you've worked out today, what you're doing. Bench press here. Lightweight. witnessed it here. First, 215 for 10 reps. And that is a new PR. And if you're interested in this Turk Max, I got a discount code and link in the description for the website. But I got a whole video I just posted yesterday morning about my first 30 days on it, just taking one a day. That's the minimum dose. Now I'm going through the whole process again, taking 2 a day. Or essentially, I start with my 10 rep max for leg press, bench press, and then rows is tomorrow. And I stay with that weight in over 7 sessions. See how many reps I can improve on that. So 215 is my new baseline PR for 10 reps. Let's see, light work, thanks Scott. And Steve, what's up, man? St. Louis, nice. Chest and triceps, perfect. So we're basically lifting together. That's where it's at. Thanks, dude. That felt good. My goal is by the end of this to hopefully be able to hit at least 225 for 10, which if I can get up to at least 12 reps on this 215 over the next 6 sessions after this, before I go to 3 a day, I'm thinking I may be able to hit 225 for 10. That'll be pretty awesome. Oh man. It was getting heavy though, that's for sure. But I'm bumping up I have to look in the description here. For dips after this, I was doing 60. I got up to 13 reps. I'm bumping that up to 70 for my working set on that. And then my Pec Fly Machine, I'm bumping up by 20 pounds. Shooting for at least 15 reps instead of 20. Because going over 20 reps, it starts to get annoying. It just takes so long. And I like more so hitting failure, where it's just like I can't lift anymore versus I'm trying to fight it burning so bad from such high reps. All right, give myself 1 more minute. We'll hit the next set. So I'm gonna do 2 sets of this, of 215. So I got my 10. And then I'm gonna drop 10 pounds off, get a set with 205, and then do my last 2 sets with 195. Depending on how the 205 goes. But my leg day went pretty good yesterday. I added 50 pounds to my leg press and went from 380 for 18 was my last round, and then on this new round, 430 for 10, and man, that was tough. Which on this machine, it's actually 60 pounds more than that. I'm just doing that loaded weight versus the weight plus the rack, because the rack's 60 pounds. Lightweight, baby. Come on. You got this. Ain't nothing but a, what does he say? Nothing but a peanut. Now I know it's lightweight, so let's do this. I thought I'd get 9. It was only 8. It's quite a drop off. That's cool. Gives me something to improve on next time. So 3 more sets of bench. I start with my working weight. Man, people mowing. I start with my working weight. You see my tan line from our trip to Arizona. And I dropped the weight down to up to 10% less by the end than what I started with. Because as you can see, if you're pushing to failure, you're probably not gonna be able to hit the same amount of reps with each set because you're gonna be getting fatigued. So I dropped 5% first, see how many reps I can get. If I get like 11 reps with 205, which I doubt, maybe 10, we'll see. But if I get 11, then I'll do my 4th set with 205 as well. But if I only get 10, I'm gonna drop it to 195 and do my last 2 sets with that, which will be pretty much 10% below my starting weight, shooting for around the same reps. Pretty much going to failure on all these. Oh man. And I lost some weight on our vacation too. Like my average weight at the end of my first round of the Turk was around 184.5. Granted, it was lower at the beginning and slowly gained some throughout the whole time. So I was in the 185s typically towards the end in the morning. And then I didn't weigh myself at all when we were on vacation. I just was trying to make sure I got enough protein each day. But we were hiking a bunch, climbing mountains, swimming, just doing stuff. And I was being aware of what I ate. You know, ate some burgers, ice cream, that type of stuff, but wasn't overdoing it. I'd have kind of one big meal a day and then a lot of the same stuff at home, like Greek yogurts and meats, cheeses, hard-boiled eggs, that type of stuff, some protein bars. And then we got home first morning back, I was like 183.5 in the morning, which kind of surprised me because like I didn't feel like I was losing weight or anything. I didn't feel real hungry while we were there. And usually when I get home after flying all day, I'm kind of bloated. And then this morning I was 182.5. So I'm like 2 pounds below right now my normal average weight that I've been. So I was a little nervous I was gonna be not quite there on this. And we had spaghetti last night and I had a pretty massive bowl of it because I wanted to make sure I wasn't coming in today in a deficit, but I still was lighter, probably from the bloating from flying. So, thanks dude, good luck. So yeah, my goal is to stay around the same weight for these trials. You know, if my weight starts bumping up a little bit, that's no big deal, but I don't want it to look like I'm bulking or anything like that, or hurting progress by cutting and making it more difficult from being at an energy deficit. So kind of like a main gaining, I guess, main gaining on Turk type of experiment here. So let's get 205. This should feel pretty light now. So we pulled some weight. Lightweight, baby. This ain't nothing. Nothing. Oh, man. 9. Maybe, you know, I might be a little sick. That could be affecting me, for sure. Guess we'll see on my next. If I do have anything, I'm pretty sure I'm on the back end of it, so I might bust out some real good numbers on my next workout. But I still got that 10 reps on the first set, so I am quite happy with that. So now I'm loading up 195 for the last 2 sets. You may notice I'm putting the 5 pounds on first. Because on my last set, I'm going to strip the 25s off and keep going. So I'll do 195 as many times as I can. Then strip it down to 145 and keep going. I'll probably be eating a good amount this weekend, so I'll get closer back to my normal weight. We got a lunch, big lunch with my side of the family on Saturday for Easter, and then doing something with my wife's side of the family the next day. So that'll be cool. Yeah. Yeah, I am looking pretty veiny right now. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's pretty intense. Got hair growing out of my bicep. Thanks, Parker. Where are you tuning in from? And have you already lifted today? Are you about to? Let me know what you're doing. I'm doing my legs push-pull split. Most people say push-pull legs, but I like to start with the legs because I did about 30 years of skipping legs. And so I make sure I prioritize that and put it first on my split. Iowa, nice. Dude, I drove through Iowa last summer. Got some relatives that live in Minneapolis. As we were up there, I was talking to my wife, like, I really wouldn't mind having some land up here. Just all that land out there. Saw some, you know, farmhouses and stuff off the highway. I was like, that would be pretty nice. But I do like how cheap things are here in Alabama, so there's that. All right, 195. Let's do this. Feeling more difficult than usual. Maybe it's not just allergies. We'll see. My next push day won't be for 4 days, so, you know, hopefully I'll be good to go by then. I felt fine during the first set, so maybe I've got some lung stuff going on, and it's just hurting the subsequent sets. But if I was 100%, I don't think I'd be hitting. I don't think I'd be hitting more than 10 reps on that first set anyways. So I got one more set of this. It's gonna be a drop set. 195 for as many reps as I can. I'll strip off the 25s, keep going with 145, just kind of burn out. Then we'll be supersetting my dips with lateral raises and then chest flies. Yeah, I do mention that quite often. You know, if you hit a PR, don't expect all your subsequent sets to be as good. But I will say, the fall off seems more than, since I'm with me tracking everything, like, let me look real quick. Last time around when I started, I got 210 for 10. Well, I guess actually I got 210 for 10, 210 for 8, 200 for 9, 190 for 11, then 190 for 9. So actually it's not that far off. But later on sets, I felt like they were going a lot better. My first time around I did 200 for 10, then 9, 9. Oh, actually it's pretty much right on par. I guess I'm just comparing it to my final sets where I was getting like 10 to 12 on pretty much every set, even when dropping the weight. But yeah, now that you say that, I'm comparing that to my previous ones, and I'm pretty much on par for that. If I can hit 10 reps again on this last set, that'll be pretty cool. Because that 10th one, it wasn't like totally grinding on the way up, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have been able to get an 11th one. So, good call, Steven. You can definitely be harder on yourself when you're expecting more from yourself. I might just be thinking it's worse because I do have that like a bunch of drainage and like scratchy throat a bit. I gotta take my own advice, dude. I'll give myself an extra minute or so. My chest is feeling pretty tight though. What's up, CS? Good to see you back. Let's see, I got Gym Dad. Like a regular dad, only cooler. See also, strong professional jar opener. Ridiculously good looking. That's what my wife says, at least. I think these shirts are from like somethingpanda.com. I forget what it was, but I really like shirts that cut off here and are a little lower. I mean, tank tops are okay if they're kind of tighter, but I don't like shirts getting up in my armpits, especially when it's hot and it just starts to rub and irritating and sticks to me. I had a couple Air Force Reserve shirts that I was using for like over 10 years. I just pulled the sleeves off them because I'm never gonna wear this out in public, but I used it for the gym, kind of like this. But then they were so old, they kind of started getting some mold on them and were nasty. So I found this website with similar kind of thick shirts, cut off like that. All right, last set of bench. We're going 195, then dropping 50, down to 145 for a drop set. Oh, don't you do that. It's about to try to show y'all an ad here. I'm gonna skip that. Lightweight, baby, come on. Got it. So that was 9 and then 8. You have a garage gym. I mean, I enjoy doing squats, like when my back doesn't hurt. I will say, using this leg press hack squat machine, or most machines in general, it kind of takes the ego out of it. Because you know when you're bench pressing, you look and see, oh, how much is that person benching? How much is that person? You see someone doing like the ISO lateral chest press. You see someone doing it, you don't really pay attention. You might see someone on a hack squat with like 20 plates loaded and they're sitting there going like this far. And it's like, that's kind of silly, but I think if you can take your ego out of it and make sure you've got good form with squats and you're doing full range of motion, like it's a really good exercise. And I enjoy doing it. I will say it's easier to push to failure on leg press because your whole body's not involved versus a squat. Like you do a set of like 15 on squats, you feel like you're gonna die afterwards from the cardio, especially if it's heavy. Even hack squats, those can be pretty brutal. But it just depends on what do you feel more for your legs. Like every exercise is just a different way of putting tension on the muscle. So if a hack squat feels better for you, you feel like you're getting a good workout, you don't need to do squats. I used to be the person that's like, you have to do squats. But honestly, I feel more of a leg workout doing lunges than I do squats. Lunges can be really brutal. But what I would probably do, like what I was doing before I started this experiment, is I went from doing squats every workout to where I was doing a push-pull legs, or like I was saying before, legs push-pull like I'm doing now, but I was doing it like an A and B plan. So I do the first legs push-pull like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then cardio, and then my next legs push-pull I would do different exercises. So like the first one I would do squats and leg press, and then some like leg extension, leg curls. And then the next time around I would do hack squats and then lunges, and then maybe like stiff leg deadlifts, because lunges really kill my quads. I wouldn't do leg extensions on that day. Same with bench press. I would like do barbell bench press one day, like say it was like a flat bench press, then like incline dumbbells the next day or something like that, and just vary the stuff up depending on what I want to do. I do deadlifts one day and some kind of like vertical pull, and then the next day I would focus on like pull-ups and rows or something like that. So that's what, there's a bunch of different types of exercises I like, but I don't want to sit there and do a 2-hour workout so that I can do a few sets of each of those exercises. So instead, take the stuff I like, do half of them one day, the other half the next day, so you get a good variety of stuff. You're able to push yourself hard on all of them. If you're tracking them, then you know you're pushing yourself. Melanoid, what's up, dude? Here, I'll put this in the chat so people can see. I am 5 feet 11 inches, and that's based on getting heighted in for a bodybuilding competition. So I'm not lying about my heights or anything. And this morning I was 182.4 pounds. But I've been averaging around 184 for the last couple months. So I think that's probably maybe why I look a little bit more vascular today, because I am like a little bit lighter since we got back from vacation. Usually people come home from vacation heavier because they eat a ton of junk, but to me, like, I like to go out to eat, but I don't like feeling stuffed and full like that. So I was just tracking protein. I take some protein bars with us when we're out hiking, and I was just trying to eat similar to what I normally do, and you know, have one good meal out a day, and it worked out pretty good. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Or ma'am, I don't know. I'm assuming you're a dude because most girls don't really watch. So what I do next, I've got 5 more sets. So I did 5 sets of bench. I shoot for like the range that you'll hear most people say is 10 to 20 hard working sets a week. So I do 5 sets of bench, then 3 dips and 3 of my chest fly machine. And while I'm doing the dips and chest flies, that's 3 and 2, so 5, and I superset all those with some lateral raises. I'm not really worried about isolating the triceps right now because I'm pretty happy with how my triceps look. I'm just focusing more so on the chest, trying to get it bigger. And I get a good tricep stimulus from the bench press plus the dips. So when I'm at a gym somewhere else, or if I'm on the road and at a gym, I'll usually throw in some tricep stuff because I have more time. But I'm just focusing on 4 exercises per workout right now to try to be a little bit more minimal and see how it works for me. So this first set, I'm shooting for around 20 reps, between 15 and 20 on the dips. All the way down to my face touches, I'm back up. Here we go. 15. 20. Got it. Felt pretty good. Get this ready for my next set. So I'll get the, ow, there goes my head. Thanks, I appreciate it. Been working hard for about 5 years now, trying to get jacked naturally. And that's what it takes. Consistency. Yesterday we were discussing guys like Alex Eubank telling people, oh, you should get testosterone because it's bad to have low testosterone, which is true, but it's very rare for guys to have low testosterone. And if you do, there's probably some lifestyle changes you should make before going straight to drugs. 17, 18, 19. And that's the problem. So many people now want to go straight to drugs or some kind of pill to fix their problems, rather than making lifestyle changes. Because taking something's way easier. You've got high blood pressure, oh, take this, and it'll fix it. You've got cholesterol, high cholesterol, take this medication. I had above the normal high end of the range LDL cholesterol, that's the bad cholesterol, back in October when I had my blood work done. I have been out of the habit of doing cardio for a while, since I was gaining weight for powerlifting. So I was like, got my butt back in the swimming pool a couple times a week, swimming for an hour, and did my blood work again in February, 4 months later, and my LDL cholesterol was way down. So just that cardio, like that's what, had a video I put out earlier this week about cardio for aesthetics versus health. Because these fitness guys were talking about whether cardio is overrated or underrated. In my opinion, you know, they're mostly coming from the standpoint of looks, because you burn calories, and they're like, oh, it's overrated because you can just control your diet and eat certain stuff. I eat pretty much the same stuff all the time. They talked about walking for cardio. I'm like, walking's not cardio if you're in shape. Because I'll walk 5 to 10 miles a day a lot of times on trips when I'm overseas, walking around towns and stuff. And my cholesterol was high. I didn't know it, I can't feel that. And then I started swimming hard and actually doing that zone 2, 140-ish average heart rate for almost an hour swimming. And that cardio improved my blood work a lot. You can't feel that stuff, but you're healthier. So just because you look good, you might, you know, have muscles, you got abs and all that, like that doesn't mean that you're necessarily healthy on the inside. This means you're lean. Especially if you're eating a diet where you're cutting a bunch of stuff out because you're trying to stay lean, you might not be getting all the nutrients you need. So I highly suggest to get blood work and compare stuff like at least once a year. But I'm gonna do it about every 6 months just to compare, see what I can improve. Everything was looking good, my last one. But it's like, I did the $400 panel from Merrick Health, the dude from More Plates, More Dates, his company, to get like a baseline of everything. And then my last one, I just did their cheaper $200 one. And you can find discount codes online for it. And it gave me all the main things I wanted to know that was looking for a difference, like testosterone levels, lipid panels, that's your cholesterol stuff, and all the major things. But I got the extra large one initially so I could have a baseline of everything. And the funny thing is, my blood work at 37 looks better than Alex Eubanks, and he's 24. It's like, dude, your liver and kidneys shouldn't look like they're being stressed if you're so healthy from taking testosterone. It's 70 pounds. Here we go. Ugh, 10. It's a sad thing for me seeing these young fitness influencers who don't really have a clue about what they want in life, thinking that being jacked and shredded is the most important thing and gonna make you happy. But it's not. Just like money, you might think, oh, if I make 70,000 a year, I'll be happy. Then you get it, you're like, oh, if I make 100,000 a year, I'll be happy. Well, now 200, now 500, now 1,000,000. If you're looking for external things to make you happy, you're never gonna be satisfied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. 15. 20. That's 20 reps with the 25s. Next up is going to be the heavy sets. These are a cool little tool I got. It's not sponsored, I bought them myself, but these are micro gains plates. You just clip them onto your dumbbells so you can go up by 2.5 pounds. They've also got 1 pounders, 1 1/4. Got a lot of different options. These are good because, you know, going from 35 to 40s, that's like a 15% increase in weight. Whereas this, I can cut that in half. Add some overhead pulls on the bench. Arnold swear by them. Do you mean like pullovers? Like where you're laying on your back like this? Technically, if you do those right, that's a lat exercise. I used to do those. My dad liked doing them because I used to watch Arnold all the time. My dad had a bench in the basement when I was growing up and a big life-size poster of Arnold in the gym down there. We used to watch Pumping Iron when I was a kid. Hey, Deemsay, thanks, appreciate it. Got a lot of stuff on the channel that can help with diet and exercise and whatnot. I've been doing these videos to help folks out with their own training and live, excuse me, question and answer tips to help folks out. Yeah. Arnold, Reg Park, Steve Reeves did pullovers. Yeah. I don't know, like, I know they said to widen your rib cage. I'm not sure what they mean because you can't actually make your bones get wider. I mean, you know, your lats, like that's what makes you look wider up top. So it's definitely something you can do. I've noticed when I've done them before, like you gotta be really strict. I don't have real good shoulder mobility. I've dislocated both my shoulders many times too. That's part of the reason I don't like doing those. But a lot of people will do it and then kind of go like this and start turning it into a tricep plus a pullover versus going all the way down because you want to get a really good stretch. And just for me, like the last time I dislocated my shoulder, I was in pilot training in the military. I was in the gym. I have shallow shoulder sockets. Instead of like that, they're like this. And if they get the wrong angle, it just comes out like literally my shoulder will be here and it hurts really bad. Unless it drops out somewhere else, but usually I'd be skateboarding or something and catch myself and be turning and fall and it pops out. So I thought, you know, maybe if I make my shoulder muscles bigger, it'll hold it in better. Not realizing at the time it was an actual joint issue, defect that I have. And I was doing overhead presses with dumbbells and I had worked up to 65s. I was on my 5th rep where I was pushing up and it was hard and my right arm came out this far. Just that angle and that weight shift, my shoulders dropped out down here. I dropped the weights. I was like, oh my gosh, you kidding me? Thankfully, we were out of the flying portion. Like I just finished flying in one plane. We were in academics for the next one. We weren't gonna be flying for a few weeks, so I was able to hide it. But my shoulder popped out. Some dudes were walking in the gym. I was like, hey, can y'all give me a hand? Like, yeah, what? I was like, I need you to pull my shoulder back in. I was like, felt it. And I'm like, here, pull my arm that way. And they're like pulling in it. Like as soon as it gets over that hump, it's like shoots back in. The guy's like, oh my gosh. He's like, dude, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I am now, thank you. And it was really sore for a week and I was good after that. Couldn't bench. That's why I've never really been able to bench a bunch too, because I think I've done 10 or 11 times between my two shoulders. And I'd start working up, getting to the low 200s in the bench press. And I used to bench like this, which wasn't good and stressing my shoulders. But then I dislocated a shoulder and I'd be out of bench pressing for like a month or two. Because even though it'd start to feel better after a week, like actually pushing heavy weight would hurt. And yeah, so I'd start back down at like 150, start working my way up again, then I'd do it again 6 months later. Skateboarding, snowboarding, body surfing, all kinds of stuff. Swimming once, I just threw my arm too fast and it dropped out. So, kind of annoying, but what can you do? All right, I'm gonna get this last drop set of dips and then I'll check back on your comments and questions. But ever since then, I quit doing overhead presses unless it's with a barbell because that keeps my elbows locked in front of me and they can't flare out. But I will not do dumbbell overhead presses anymore. It's just not worth the risk with my defective body. And that's where you have to not be too attached to a certain exercise and find something that works for you. That's why I'm always doing so many dumbbell lateral raises. So I'm already putting stress on my shoulders from doing the bench pressing and these deep dips. So I just stick with lateral raises for the shoulders. I think it was 14 and 6. I'll give myself a second before I do those next lateral raises. And I don't put my hat on backwards to look cool. I do it so that my bill doesn't hit that when I'm doing the dips. Magazine dreams. No, I haven't. Yeah, that was the dude who was in, what's it called? Ant-Man, the bad guy. He was in Loki too. Some girl accused him of sexual assault and all kinds of crap that was eventually proved wrong. But they put him on hold for a lot of the shows and movies for a while. I think they're taking him out as the main villain for some of the next Avengers movies because of that. But yeah, I've seen the preview for it, but no, I haven't seen it. Yeah. For DMC, I think I'm saying that right. The tough thing when that type of stuff happens is it can be really tempting to just not work out at all. It's like, oh, I can't do anything, now my program's shot. It's just a shoulder. Work out everything else you can. Keep yourself motivated because something will happen, you can't do a perfect routine, then training goes out the window, diet goes out the window, people let themselves go. And that's not what you want to do when you get hurt. You got to be more on top of stuff to make sure you don't just start overeating and gaining a bunch of weight for no reason. All right, we've got 37 and a half for these lateral raises. 1, 2, 3, 5. That's 13. Not too bad. Feeling pretty good here. No PRs? Oh, that's all good, Steven. Didn't you say you hit bench PR and dip PR last week after your deload? Like, the cool thing is, like, you know, you hit a PR and it gets you motivated. You want to hit another one the next time. Of course, this is me saying it when it's not me in the situation, like when earlier, like, yeah, but what about, you know, feeling weaker if you hit a PR? I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point, you know. I get frustrated with myself, but if you hit those same numbers the next week, you're doing your PR again, and maybe it's a little bit easier. Like, when I was doing my last round, doing 210, I remember the one week I got 210, for 10, and it was really hard grinding the 10th rep. And then I did 210 for 11, or no, I did 210 for 10 again, but the rep went up noticeably quicker, but I was like, I know I don't have another one. But I was like, okay, I'll probably be able to get 11 next time. And then got to 11 and that one was a grinder. And then 2 sessions later, that one went up easier. So even if you're hitting the same numbers as your PR, that's always a good feeling. Yeah, thanks CS. That's been the goal with these live videos, is I'm trying to do something different. I've never seen anybody else do live workouts. I've seen Q&As and stuff where guys just take Instagram questions and start answering stuff, which is cool, but they're picking the stuff that they want to talk about, whereas I have had people mention stuff and I'm like, yeah, I'm not talking about that. But in general, I like this more live. You know, people who are interested can come, can talk, can get their stuff answered right away. And it's personal interaction, because I remember who a lot of y'all are when I see y'all all the time in these live videos. This is 180. Huh? Don't move that way. I'll be soon, down soon. Ten. 14, 15, 20. Don't mess with that right now. I need to set it up and make sure everything's working right. Okay. And then y'all can start using it. Okay. I like that machine.
Hey, I thought showing my press hands.
Huh?
I thought showing my press hands.
Where?
Over here.
You're gonna hit your legs on something. Why don't you do it over here? She's gonna do her press handstand. Yeah. Maybe you should turn.
This way?
Maybe. Okay. Wish I could do that. Come on, go, 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 all the way.
I'm gonna hit the bike.
You wanna do it out here?
Yes. I have nothing. Right here?
I'll zoom in.
Okay, ready?
Go. Whenever you're ready.
Meow!
Okay, we're good. Just shoo him away.
Shoo, shoo, shoo.
Go.
I can't do it to him. I don't want him to knock.
Fine, I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, do it. All the way, push, push. It's still good. You're doing it uphill too. It makes it harder. Crazy girl. Okay. Almost done here. I'm gonna get another set of this thing's called lateral raises.
Flower.
Lateral raises.
Oh, there's a flower raises.
Lateral.
I was like, that's weird.
Flower raises would be easy.
What if there's a million flowers?
Flower power, like Mario. almost done here. Starting to sweat. It's like 80 degrees out right now. There's gonna be nothing. A couple months, it's gonna be 100, and there's gonna be sweat all over my garage floor. I have to keep a bucket of water in here to like squeegee it out after each session. But you know, that's all good. So it's 11. So I'm gonna add 50 pounds on my next chest fly. Do as many as I can, drop the 50 off, keep going. Then I'll also do a drop set of with 35 pounds and then drop down to 25. Let's see what we got. Yeah, man. You just keep pushing. Eventually the stars align, you hit some sweet PRs. You just gotta be careful not to keep pushing it too hard like I was doing and hurt your back to where you're out of it for a while. I remember I did 390 for 9 on deadlifts, felt fine. Then came back a couple weeks later. I think I did. I think I was up to like gonna do like 395 or something like that. I did 3 reps and it felt really hard. And then I went to lift and I couldn't move the bar at all. I was like, what in the world? Got a video of it. I was like, are you kidding me? I was mad. I was like, I'll just do some technique stuff. And I stripped off down to 315. Came back 5 minutes later, I could not lift that off the ground. Like I literally could not pick it up. I tried 225. I did a couple reps. I was like, something's wrong, I'm done. And then my back hurt so bad for like 2 weeks. Just for a week straight, if not a little more in the morning. I couldn't stand up straight for like an hour because it hurt so bad. So I'm like, you know what? I think my deadlifting days might be over, at least deadlifting heavy. Yeah, lower the intensity, that can work.
People texting you while you're talking?
Yeah, that's what this whole chat is on the side.
Oh.
All right, let's hit up this last set. Zoom in a little bit. Throw on my 25s. So far, this company, GMWD Fitness, I've been happy with the products I've got from them. They and RipFit both have some good stuff that I've used. When you're doing these, just like a bench press, like you want to try not to round your shoulder blades because you're going to be using a lot of your front delts to do that. Pull your shoulder blades back and stick your back against it just like if you're going to do a bench press, and you'll feel your chest squeeze a lot more. Your shoulders will still be tight too, and you'll be using them, but you'll engage your chest a whole lot more. 7. 11 and 7. Not bad. Chest day is the best day. I do like chest day. I like getting a good chest pump. It'd be nice if my chest would blow up as quick as my legs did when I first started training them hard. I think I had a pretty good physique still like 5 years ago. I wasn't huge. I guess you'd say it was kind of athletically built. But my chest was always lagging. I think that's because I didn't know how to bench properly. Like I used to always bench press and do push-ups like this, so you're using a lot of shoulders more than your chest. Like if you look at your chest, when you're like that, it's kind of like caved in, your shoulder's really tight, but if you roll your shoulder blades back, you'll feel your chest get really tight. So learning how to do the proper technique will make a big difference. So I think I was one of those guys with the overdeveloped shoulders and a smaller chest because I was making my bench press more like a chest exercise. Is this chair moving? God, it's tilting. So getting technique right will help you to target the muscles you want to target. How do you deal with being sore all the time? I'm not sore. Like my legs they're not really sore. I feel them like a little bit from my leg workout yesterday, but by tomorrow they'll probably be fine. My hamstrings might be a day longer than my quads. My chest most of the time is sore for a day, like 2 days maybe, sometimes 3 depending on how hard I push. But that's kind of where you just got to get to the point to where, depending on how your split is, if you're still sore when it's time to lift again, then you're probably pushing too hard. Pull the volume back a little bit, try dropping a set or 2 off your workout, and see if you're able to recover better before your next session. But my back rarely gets sore. Like I feel a good pump when I'm lifting, but my back itself, like my lats rarely get sore. Same with my biceps. They feel super pumped when I'm doing my curls, but then they're like never sore. The times they do get sore, so my dad and I used to do where we take the barbell, maybe put 10 pounds on it, and do 1 rep, pass it 1, back 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10 and back down. So it ends up being like, I forget how many, 100 something reps, and my biceps will be hurting the next day. But aside from something crazy high volume like that, just make sure you take the volume down a little bit. Ten. I think it was 15. Dropping down to 25s. Burns. 10. 13. That is the end. It was 15 and 13. So yeah, that's the first day on my next month of Turkesterone. Doing 2 a day. This is what I'm using from HTLT subs, linked in the description. Discount code too. This is Turk Max. It's called Turk Builder Max now. It's in a square pack instead of the bottle. Probably keeps the cost down a little bit. But the only supplements I talk about are the ones I use. I've got a whole video going over every supplement on the website as of like 4 months ago. Saying the stuff I would and wouldn't take, because I don't suggest everything that's there because there's so much stuff. But for me, creatine, protein powders, pre-workouts are 3 main things, and I'm just testing this out now. I've used GO2 Max for cardio. It works pretty well, noticeably well, actually, if you're pushing yourself hard. But it's not something I take all the time. But yeah, that's about it. Let's see. Legs are weak point. Yeah, that's why it used to be for me too. When I started, I did squats twice a week. Squats, lunges, and then I had, or this bench my computer's on, that has a leg extension, leg curl, and I did that twice a week for a year, pushed myself hard. I started out squatting like 115 and slowly worked up into the 200s. And then I was up to like 275, and when I realized I was doing, or no, I got up to 315 after like 2 years. I realized I was doing like half reps, took 100 pounds off the bar, started going all the way down and back up on my squats, and then slowly started working back up the weight again, and that made them get even bigger. So prioritize legs. Again, it doesn't have to be squats, it just, they work if you do them right with good form. I did like 3 sets of squats, that's what I used to do up here, 3 sets of lunges, and it was hard. My heart rate would be like going crazy after the lunges, like 180s. But my legs grew a ton. It was crazy, the difference it made. Got videos on that too. So if you prioritize that, push hard, progressively overload, those legs will get bigger. Rest is important, yeah, for sure. As you see, I take lots of rest between my sets. Partly when I'm talking here, like this workout might be 10 minutes less if I wasn't talking so much, but it's usually around an hour to an hour and 10 minutes. But I'm not someone who times my rest. Like, I just wait till I feel like I'm good to go again and I can get the most out of my next set. I did some circuit style training with my dad when we were up in over in Arizona last week on vacation. We'd get like 2 machines, like a chest press machine and a row machine next to each other. We both get on them, do it, then swap and keep going, and then maybe rest a couple minutes and go. And we were doing circuit type training like that. Same with legs, everything. And that was tough, especially at the 7,000 foot altitude. It made a difference. But in general, I was just, that was my deload, so I was doing something a little different, just working the muscles. Not pushing too hard, but it was hard because of the little amount of rest. So if you are doing lower rest times, just keep in mind that you're not gonna be able to do as much weight. So the weight's gonna have to come down. Yeah, I mean, soreness, I actually like feeling at least a little bit sore the next day, because you don't have to feel sore to make progress, but if I do feel a little sore, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can feel my muscle that I was working. I know I worked it well, and it's usually gone within a day. 2 at the most. So a little soreness can be good. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna be live streaming tomorrow's as well for my first back day, double dosing the Turk. Gonna be doing the seal row bench rows with 180 pounds, see how that goes. Hopefully I'll get at least 10 reps on that. And then followed by pull-ups and all that good stuff. So thanks for tuning in. I don't know what time I'll be lifting tomorrow. It's a Friday, so I don't know, we'll see how I feel. Hopefully earlier so it won't be as hot. But I'll see y'all later. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night, everyone. God bless.